I'm guessing a lot of you lovely folk are like me in that you started off on your path of modelling with Airfix kits. Certainly was the case with me. Um, I think it's very hazy, and I asked my brother, and he doesn't remember, but I think I was about 10 when one of our big sisters had bought for me and my brother two kits, two Airfix kits, those ones that were in a clear plastic bag with the card header on the top. And she bought us a tank and an aeroplane, and we could choose. And I chose the tank. My brother chose the aeroplane, and we went off and made them. I was 10, my brother would have been 6, and I think that might be the reason why he never got really into model making, whereas, that was it. I was off, because when you're 10, this is back in like 72, you're making physical models of things you were reading about in the British war comics that were out weekly. Sunday afternoon, there was always a war film on, and you had your own version, right? And that's how it was for me. It was Airfix. I know there were other kits out at the time, companies called Revel and the likes, but at that time, around about 72, it was only Airfix with that brilliant logo. And I think it was because we didn't have model shops back then, but toy shops stocked them, corner shops stocked them. Sorry, can't talk today. Corner shops stocked them, department stores stocked them. And they were affordable, right? And that's the big difference between now and then. They were pocket money prices. If you wanted a 1/72nd scale tank or an aeroplane, you only had to save up for a couple of weeks, and you could have one. So anyway, that's how it was. Airfix was like that for me. There was a detour around about 74 when the Aurora kits were re-released, the Aurora Monster kits, and that took me away, and that really wasn't followed through. I mean, I know there were those little dioramas that moved, the little skeleton ones and things like that, and you had Planet of the Apes shipping bottle scenes and the like. But it wasn't until about like 76, 77 when you started getting like $6 Million Man kits and things like that. And then, of course, Star Wars came along and Space 1999 and then everything that followed that. So that's when I left the military modelling. But right up until then, round about up until about, 76, 77. So a good 7 years worth of making Airfix kits. Later on, there were Tamiya kits, which even back then when I was young, I could tell the difference in quality. The detail was far more detailed in a Tamiya kit, and there were far more parts. But the crucial difference between the Tamiya kits and the Airfix kits was that the Tamiya kits had, lovely piece of artwork on the cover, but it was on like a white background. The Airfix kits had the most amazing artwork on the boxes, usually an action scene. It wasn't just like an aircraft on a runway just waiting there. It was in the action, and this was enthralling. When I was little, just looking at the box artwork on the shelves, and some of them, like the 1/72nd bombers, I'd have to save up for an awful long time to afford one of them. But that didn't stop me staring at the artwork and imagining what was going on and everything. And of course, I was a nipper back then. I didn't know the name of the artist, and I didn't know that there was one particular artist who did an awful lot, and his name is Roy Cross. And this is a collection of his Airfix box art. So I'm going to have a look through it today. I haven't opened it up yet. I know my friend Ian's got this because we've talked about Airfix kits in the past. In fact, I think on one of our Patreon podcasts, we chose our top 5 military vehicles. All right. And I'm pretty sure we discussed the amazing artwork that you get. So I thought we'd have a flick through, and as we go, I'll just see how many of them I actually had and how many of them I wanted and how many times, little bells will ring at the back of my mind. All right. As a memory and an anecdote comes up. Let's see. I have no idea because I've never looked through this. So let's go. It will, of course, after I've done this video, I will be reading it all. So this looks quite exhaustive right to begin with, because that's not a thumbnail, is it? But it's a rough prelim. So I'm guessing this, I don't know anything about this book. So I don't know if this has been made in conjunction with Roy or Roy's family if he's no longer around, but it's good to see. So let's have a look. First plane, I don't know that one at all. That's a good start, isn't it? I don't recognise that artwork at all. Nor that one. There's a memory already. Is this artwork for... you used to be able to get, around about 75, 76, there were dogfight editions, weren't there? You got 2 planes in a box, so you could have them fighting. Is that one? I don't know. Maybe you might like to let me know below. So here we go. No, Concorde. I had no interest whatsoever in, commercial aircraft. That wasn't my thing at all. Nor trains, be they early ones or more contemporary ones for that time. The making of an artist. I'm glad there's a lot of text to this. As I say, I'm glad he's getting his credit. Okay, so he was doing a lot of magazine work. Let's pull back so you can see. It doesn't seem right. They're in black and white. Fair enough, a schematic, but these don't seem right to be in black and white. Yeah, the model is this airliner, but look at the effort that's gone into the scenery. Okay. Making the painting all good. Well, I think this is written by Roy. To avoid the risk of cracking, I always use watercolour boards. Even 40 years ago, it was becoming difficult to find just the right commercial boards to suit me. So this is written by Roy. Oh, great. Oh, even better. Don't recognise that at all. The Airfix art. Here we go. So that's a colour rough. It says at the bottom. It's a colour rough of a mosquito. Oh, yeah. Remember that. Never had it, but I remember this one. Didn't have a sliding door. I think it had a sliding door feature. Never seen that one before. Yeah, I remember these, but again, unless it was like the Red Baron, I wasn't really interested in World War I aircraft. Military vehicles, yeah, but not aircraft. I think I would have liked that because I could have painted it like the Black Max, who was my favourite British comic book character at the time. Little Stuka. Did Roy do the artwork for the 1/24th scale Stuka? Because that was my holy grail kit. That was the one that I just longed for. I wonder if he did it. I have no real desire. I know Ian makes military kits from time to time, but I don't have any real desire to go back and revisit them. I do buy, Tamiya kits mainly because they were used by the likes of Martin Bauer for detailing spacecraft and stuff for film and TV. So, Hobbycraft still stock Tamiya kits, and that's still in production. So I buy them, but not to build. But the 1/24 Stuka, from time to time, I do think about that. Very good. I'm waiting for a jump out moment. Again, doesn't look right in black and white. That's a nice one. Don't remember it, but it's a nice one. I think our shop, be it a toy shop or, in fact, I think the bike shop used to sell them up the road, only had a limited stock because some of these I've never seen before. I've never seen that artwork or that model before. This is one I have considered because you can still get this. This is one I have considered because to me, that looks very Jerry Anderson. And I've thought about buying that before and turning it into a spacecraft. Never seen that artwork before. Oh, I remember that one, but I was more interested in the pyramid than the plane. Just heard a van go. I might get a knock on the door in a minute. Oh, there's the cover art. What does he say about it? The Boeing Flying Fortress with many moving parts, an Airfix classic in every way. I really went to town with the action in this painting as a tribute to the dauntless operational record of the US 8th Air Force in Europe during the mid to late war years. That is an action scene, all right, isn't it? Blimey. Okay. Oh boy, I remember that one. Oh, blimey. Yes, let's pull back. It's a shame there's a fold there. Never had it, but I remember seeing that in the shops. Yep, remember that. Oh, so he did do military vehicles as well. It's the old duck, isn't it? Never had that, nor that. Sheridan. Wasn't interested in helicopters. Oh, he was doing World War I tanks as well. Another brilliant action scene. Look at that. I mean, you see the artwork here, and, you know, if you're like 10 years old and you're enthralled by that artwork and you buy it because of the artwork, what you make can't match the artwork, can it, in your mind's eye? But that's not the point. The point of this artwork was, you know, it entrances you and it snares you and it pulls you in and goes, buy me, buy me, buy me, you know? And there's the old Red Baron. It's good how we got preliminary ideas. So Roy's writing this book, so of course, there we are. There's a jump out moment. Oh, good Lord. The Heinkel 111. I don't know why, but I kept buying this kit because on that podcast, this was my number one military aircraft, the Heinkel 111. It's just a beautiful design. And I don't know if you're the same, but if you were collecting aircraft kits, Airfix aircraft kits, were you hanging yours from the ceiling by cotton thread? Because I certainly was. Borrowing some of my mum's cotton thread and trying to get a drawing pin to go into the ceiling to hold it. And you would just have, like, you would put them up on the ceiling, the intention being that you would recreate a battle like this. But of course, you would never see it because you're just looking up at the underside, so you would never see it. And I always remember when you did take them down, the top layer was just like an inch thick of dust because they'd been up there for so long. Or sometimes the thread would break and they would like be hanging down by their tails. I think that's one of the dual kits. Mosquito versus a 262. It's an interesting alternative angle. Oh, is that the Black Widow? Is that the Black Widow? Yes, it is the Black Widow. Yeah. I never bought it, but I did want it. A black fighter plane, you know? I'm waiting for another one to jump out at me. Well, this one, yeah, the SRN-1 hovercraft is, I'm not sure if Airfix are going to re-release it, but this is almost a holy grail kit. If you want to recreate a certain Space 1999 spacecraft, because Martin Bower used this an awful lot, and it's up until now it's been incredibly rare. I know he used these bits. In fact, he sent me a couple of these bits because I was going to build something, and I think it was used by the BBC guys for Blake 7. They used it on some of the vehicles as well. Yep. I'm not sure whether I bought it, but I remember that one. No interest. I wouldn't have been interested. I hadn't really thought about the ships. Okay, so Roy did the ships as well. I didn't buy ships back then. Only the Trafalgar, sailing ships. I'd had some of them, but I wasn't really interested in these. But I have bought them since because these are really good. The Airfix battleships, because the parts are very small and very detailed, and they make very good greeblies if you're detailing a science fiction model. Oh, look at that beast. Never seen that one before. It's going to be some good reading. Ah, there you go. There's another one. The SRN-4 hovercraft, which is Martin Bower used all the blooming time, all over Space 1999. Off the top of my head, The Last Enemy episode of Space 1999, Dione's little escape pod that she uses to fly down to Moonbase Alpha. Some of the detailing are the little seats that are inside this model. The very top or the very underside was used by the BBC on the Nova Queen a few times. On the underside of the Nova Queen, you either got the top or the bottom of the SRN-4. If they re-release that, that's going to be brilliant, because they go for big bucks, or they have been. But yeah, they're very rare now and very expensive. I've still got a few of the curvy bits, because I've had a couple of these before, because I've been doing studio recreations, and I've got some of the curvy skirty bits. But I think that's all I've got left. No, absolutely no interest in motorbikes, whether real or model work wise. No, I wouldn't have been interested. No, not interested in racing cars. I don't think I've ever built a racing car. Oh, there you are. Memories come flooding back. Oh, this kit I bought loads of times, and I don't know why. I already had one. Why would I buy another one? I guess it's just something to make, because I love this model because the door slid open, plus you got a frogman, plus you got all these decals. Yeah, classic kit, classic piece of artwork. Look at that. Amazing stuff. Amazing. I can see the boxes now. I can see the little rectangular boxes that the tanks would come in. I think we're nearing the end. Yes, we are. Oh, the old Vigan. I've been thinking about getting one of these again, because I think either this model or its predecessor, or made by a different company, these Delta Wing aircraft were used a lot by the Jerry Anderson boys, weren't they? Derek Meddings' team, because they're suitably futuristic, and they would adapt them and turn them into a Joe 90 aircraft or a Captain Scarlet aircraft. Yeah, we're definitely nearing the end. That's fantastic. Never seen that one before. Well, I don't think we're getting the Stuka, are we? That's for the 124th. That's the 124th, isn't it? Yeah, 124th Hurricane Spitfire. He says here, the Spitfire, BF 109 and Hurricane 124 scale kits represented a huge investment in terms of design and tooling. Packaging was all important, so I came up with several ideas. The most exciting image was chosen in each case. The selected finished art for the Hurricane and 2 other ideas. It goes to show the importance of the box art in selling more expensive kits. Well, I would say affordable kits as well, whether it was for, 124th monster of a kit or a 172nd kit. I mean, sterling work throughout. He didn't diminish his work because of the price the kit would be selling for. Certainly not. That's a lovely action scene as well. Well, almost at the end. I think that's the type of plane. My very first flight was in one of them, just to let you know. Not that actual one. Oh, that's the end. Oh, so he didn't do the Stuka. All right, this is going to be really good reading. Ian and I, when we did that podcast, we were saying about these are museum quality pieces of artwork, aren't they? You could hang that in a museum anywhere and it would fit right in. It's terrific that Airfix are still going and they're re-releasing kits. But what I find deathly dull now is the box is just a photo of a built-up model. So even if the kits were affordable for kids, that ain't going to do it, is it? I mean, you compare that to a photo of the actual model, and which will scream out to you from the shelf, which will pull you in and get you to buy it. So, excellent book. That's my flick through. So, hope you enjoyed that. If you too were an Airfix modeler, let me know in the comments. If you had a similar introduction to them, were there any in there that you were your favourites? And just let me know. Okay, right. That's it for now, and see you next time. Bye bye.